Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
Between local lines, indeed. And we are talking a little bit more about Sharjah and how Sharjah has been building on its FDI appeal. It's been able to attract over $220 million in investments and been able to create 1,117 new jobs. Now, we've got a very special guest with us in the studio, friend of the show, friend of the station, Mohammed Musharrkh, CEO of Invest in Sharjah. Before we go ahead, I'll ask you to move the microphones a little bit closer towards you, and then we'll be able to hear the conversation a bit better. So, a very good morning, and thank you for joining us on the show.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Abdul Karim, my guest today. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for hosting me today here in the studio. I mean, it's very nice to be back somehow to reality.
Yes.
Away from virtual meetings.
Right.
It's good to be back at the studio facing people face to face.
That certainly is. I mean, the last time I saw you was at House of Wisdom, which was it's incredible, and we've seen that towards the end of the year 2020, things have been developing. New announcements in Sharjah, and it's all over the newspapers, all over the local pages, all over international pages. Now, talk to me about investments, and when it comes to the business sector, what's happening?
Sure. 2020 was a tough year for everyone. But I mean, despite the situations and the circumstances, Sharjah has done extremely well in terms of attracting foreign direct investments to the Emirate of Sharjah, and thanks to the directives of His Highness the ruler on that actually, and the government of Sharjah in announcing the stimulus package of around 1 billion dirhams actually for the business sector. The 1 billion dirhams went into different forms actually. It was as in forms of reducing some of the government fees. It was in stimulus packages with banks and all of this. So I think all of this helped the investments to come and the existing investments in Sharjah to flourish and to grow and to keep actually the investments in the Emirate of Sharjah. We were focusing during the pandemic or during the first phase of the pandemic to help existing investors to survive actually, and to always inform them about the stimulus package and what benefits they can have being in the Emirate of Sharjah and investors in the Emirate of Sharjah. So in 2020, actually, we were able to attract around 108 million dirhams of worth of investments. This went actually into 24 foreign direct investment projects and created more than 1,117 new jobs in the Emirate of Sharjah.
And can you talk to us about which sectors in particular during the year 2020 saw this remarkable growth?
Definitely. During the pandemic, we were focusing actually on food security, agrotech, aquatech. We were also focusing a lot on technology and information and communication technologies, especially with the announcement few months ago actually of the new research and technology park in Sharjah. I think this is the way forward for us in attracting investments, to focus more and more on the technological sector. Again, life science, healthcare, logistics and distribution saw a great increase in the Emirate of Sharjah during the pandemic. A lot of people went buying online, a lot of things went online, which definitely increased the demand on logistics and transportation actually.
So a few months ago, it was announced that the landmark UAE reform will now allow foreign investors 100% ownership of businesses, which took effect, I believe, on the 1st of December 2020. So under this new FDI regime, or system, several categories of business licenses will no longer require Emiratis as sponsors with 51% shareholding rights. So what are the plans for implementing the 100% foreign ownership for mainland companies here in Sharjah?
Sure. If we go back to last year, there was an FDI law announced where foreign investors were allowed to own in 122 sectors only. I think with what happened and with the resilience actually of UAE's economy, the cabinet of the UAE decided to allow foreigners to own 100% in all different sectors. This will definitely increase the competitiveness of the UAE economy. The UAE will also increase investments to the UAE compared to the region. I think this was a very brave step that the UAE government has taken, especially in this time, in this difficult time. But again, this shows how resilient is the economy of the UAE and how flexible is the government of UAE in taking such decisions. So we are waiting actually for more information from the federal government to start implementing this in the Emirate of Sharjah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time for the country as a whole, for sure. Now, let's start talking a little bit more about the year that it was, 2020, and I'm sure we all we were all scared, and we also hosted the Ramadan Economic Majlis. What was the feedback from it, do you think, in terms of people coming back? And especially, what I liked about the new end is the Saeed Investors Center that we've got. And a lot of investors I do know now go there directly, and they're all meeting in Al Khan. How successful has that project been?
Actually, we launched Sharjah Investor Services Center, which is called Saeed, and Saeed is happy in Arabic for non-Arabic speakers. This is a one-stop shop, a high-end actually one-stop shop where investors come and can finalize all their government-related papers under one roof. We have a personalized service, I would say, where investors can come, have a seat in one of the lounges, have a cup of coffee. We have one of the best coffee shops actually in Sharjah there, which is called Hoof. So one of the customer agents come and receives all the papers, and then through the back office we finalize all the papers, so investors don't have to move from one desk to another desk. We have actually, we provide different services, or all the services that any investor in the UAE or Sharjah needs, from Economic Development Department to Sharjah Municipality to Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We also have all Tasheel services that includes visa, labor permission, notary public as well. So anything that the investor needs, we can cater and provide through Saeed Center. And during the pandemic, we also did a new initiative, which is Call Us and We Reach You, because it was hard for some people to move from their homes. So we decided to go to different investors, to different people, and finalize all their government-related paperworks at their homes or offices, actually.
And we talked quite a bit about resilience in the year 2020. Can you talk to us about the outlook for 2021, the forecast, where we're expected to see an increase in foreign direct investment?
Definitely. I mean, we are currently revising the sectors we are focusing on in terms of foreign direct investment. I think the focus, as I earlier mentioned, will be more on technology, agrotech, aquatech, food security, advanced manufacturing. Entrepreneurship is something that we are also keen to focus on here in the Emirate of Sharjah, with having the support of Sharjah Center, definitely. The health tech, with all of what happened during the pandemic, health sector is one of the most important sectors actually that different governments have to focus on, and we are definitely going to focus more and more on healthcare, especially with having the new Sharjah Healthcare City in place, and advanced manufacturing. As all of you know, Sharjah is the base of manufacturing in the United Arab Emirates. We have the right infrastructure for the manufacturing. We are looking forward to attract more advanced manufacturing like 3D printing, robotics, drones, and all of this.
So what continues to make Sharjah an attractive destination for investors from your point of view?
I mean, Sharjah has a lot to offer actually to investors. Beside all the facilities that I have spoke about, we have 6 great free zones that are major attractions for investments and investors in the region. I mean, the location of Sharjah today plays a major role again in making it an investment destination. We have Sharjah International Airport, the 3 ports that we have in Sharjah. All of these elements actually make us one of the top investment destinations in the region.
Well, so much to look forward to, isn't it? And we're really proud to call the Emirates our home, and we're very proud as a network, as a radio network as well in English,
of course,
to be based here in the Emirate of Sharjah. Mohammed Musharrkh, thank you for your time today, and all the very best for the year 2021. And we'll hope to see you again in person here in the studio again.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Inshallah.
Well, so this was the conversation that we've had live on the airwaves of Pulse 95 Radio. Stay tuned to Pulse 95. We'll be back again. And up next, we'll be talking about the world of Heritage Week here in the Emirate of Sharjah. And of course, keep you posted about the developments with the UFC fight. This is the Morning Majlis on Pulse 95.
Sometimes figures speak louder than words. For us, despite the challenges, 2020 was the year of opportunities and possibilities. We launched Sharjah Investor Services Center, SAID, a one-stop shop to help investors and entrepreneurs set up their business in Sharjah. We've been active both locally and globally. We were part of webinars across Europe, Asia, and the USA, enjoying great viewership. We also took part in several events, physical as well as virtual. And sponsored them too, some of them in association with SAID. Our efforts were rewarded with prestigious awards and the continued MENA Regional Directorship of WIPA till 2021. 2020. A year of amazing achievements. We can't wait to show you what's in store for 2021. Invest in Sharjah. Our numbers speak for us.
If you liked this episode of the Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.